Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Today's episode is Teens Part 2. I felt as though I had to add more to it because I have talked to some parents with teens, and I thought instead of making an hour, 2 hour episode, I would divide it into two. So, but before we start, I am going to talk to you, tell you some. It's been a crazy 2 to 3 weeks, not just for me, but for so many people. And I don't know if someone said, "Oh, the planets are aligned differently" and all that. I'm not sure if that's it, but if I need to blame it on anything, I'll blame it on that. But here is my uh, fun fact. And did you know that when glass breaks, the cracks move faster than 3,000 miles per hour? Why am I talking about glass? Is because my son was in an accident and totaled his car. Fortunately, he's okay, but had broke a finger and had some shards of glass stuck, and that was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks. I don't even know. It seems like everything's just a blur. You get that quick call, and it's like, oh my God, he's been hurt. Let's go. Not just is he a police officer, but it was early in the morning, and he usually calls, and if he calls, it's not first thing in the morning. So it was that mom instinct that something was wrong. I was talking on the phone with my daughter. I said, "Oh my God, it's your brother. I got to let you go. He never calls this early." So he's fine. Totaled his car. The other person's car was totaled also. Luckily, no one was uh, hurt really, really bad. By the grace of God, God is always watching over us, angels protecting him. And if you don't believe in all that, that's okay. I do. And then my daughter went out of town for a couple of days, and we watched our two granddaughters. Oh my God. I can't even praise my daughter enough. We were exhausted, and there were two of us. Because she's a stay-at-home mom, and she just she does an amazing job. That's all I have to say. But just just weird things, just happening that you don't expect to happen, but they do. But you deal with them, you move on, and that's how it is. Because guess what? That's life. Um, well, I'm going to be talking about teens again on this episode, and there's just been a lot of. I have friends. I do have friends that do have teenagers, and so much is out there that you hear about on the news, and unfortunately, it is a crisis. But a lot of people sweep it under the rug, which I think is not a good idea to do. Um, but there is a crisis, and guess what? Many of us adults and parents and friends and relatives have helped with it. And the name of this crisis is social media and smartphones. Now, no, I don't think this is like a real thing. This is what I believe is the crisis. So many kids are literally hooked on social media: TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and adults too. But adults hopefully can contain themselves and know when to stop. But it has become an addiction for some kids. I mean, that's all they do. Um, and why is it the fault of adults, parents, friends, and relatives? It's because we have introduced them to this one thing. And I have mentioned this several podcasts, especially on one past called The New Addiction. And it is something that we all do love and have, or at least the majority of us do. And that is our cell phone/smartphone. And again, I love mine. I can't imagine not having it anymore because I do have a slight addiction of always having it with me. I have a slight panic attack when I can't find it. But never fear, my smartwatch can help me find it. Yes, they are smart because they have controlled everything, so much of our actions and such. Now, there's a great article in the September issue of AARP. Yes, even the older, mature adults are concerned for the future of our kids. The name of the article is Our Kids in Crisis, written by Stephen Perrine. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it's a very good article. So if you know someone that gets AARP and you're really interested in reading about it, read it. It's a very good article regarding uh, kids in crisis. Um, Looking up research on kids and suicide, the rate is now high, and it's so high, it's just crazy. They are saying children in elementary school are thinking of harming themselves because they are being bullied, or no one likes them, or they have no friends. This is the importance of talking with our kids and letting them know that they should be able to talk to you about everything and anything. Now, this is for people to know that it could be going on and you don't even know it. Some kids just shut down, and parents will go, "Oh, they're just going through a quiet phase." No, I'm not sure if they're going through a quiet phase or not, but I just feel like it's so important for us to talk to our kids and be there for them. Now, kids are just wanting to fit in. People, adults want to fit in. We all want to fit into something. We didn't want to have that group, or maybe some people are loners. And now, you look at some loners like, oh, that's a smart idea. I'm glad I'm not their friend. But some people are just better off being alone. Kids are so wanting to fit in, and some parents or guardians, I feel, are trying to make sure that they do this and they get their kids involved. And when I say children, I'm meaning all ages, from elementary to high school, even college. I think the kids are feeling lost. And so much of what's going on in their parents, I feel like we as parents are trying to help them, enrolling them in after school activities, which is great. But I feel like we need to be there, especially the outdoors. Of course, if it's, tutoring or piano or violin lessons, you can't be there staring at them, but you need to try to be there. I mean, you may not want to be there. There were many times I didn't want to be there, but I did stick around unless I literally had to run home and come right back. I just wanted to be there, and maybe I was the helicopter mom. I don't know. I just needed to be there and let my kids out. And we didn't have cell phones when my kids were in the 80s. You didn't have cell phones when your kids were doing stuff and in the 90s. So you literally just sat around, and guess what? We socialized. The parents would socialize, and they'd chat and become friends. But I think it's really important that parents just stick around for these certain things, and let them know you want to be there, even if you don't. But if you got them involved, you really should be there. It's like the little girl who wanted to be on the pep squad cheerleading, and then they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, you said you were going to do this. You've already committed yourself. So now you are stuck until the school year's out. Well, we have committed to have these children. So I feel as though we are committed to, especially if we enroll them, oh, we think this will be great for you. Then I feel like we should be there. It's just important to let them know that you're there. You know, I think it's different from when me being in my 60s, people in their 50s, 40s, 30s, and whatever. It's so different from what we were going through back in the day. Uh, so I feel as though kids have it a little tougher. I know I've said this in past episodes, but I really do. I mean, they have school shootings now. They hear about it. You fist fights and seeing angry adults and parents and one another. You hear about people on flights and in schools and stores and of course social media. All this is out there and they see it. And it seems as though adults have become a little bit high strung, and I'm not sure if it's because of the pandemic or what. And a lot of us, I will put myself in there, have just lost of figuring things out. So they go into yelling. No, I don't yell, but I seem to get frustrated sometimes, and I'm a pretty calm person, but about silly things. I have experienced none of this. I've not seen any of this, and I'm sure most of us have not. But guess what? We do talk about it. We'll talk about it with our friends, with the kids probably talk about it because their parents talk about it. So it's amongst friends and other adults. And I will tell you, kids are great for accidentally eavesdropping. So they hear everything. They could be in the other room, and if they hear you whispering, for some reason they have radar and they can hear what you're saying to whoever. I don't know how. I don't know how they do it, but they do. They just pick up on it, and guess what? You may not want them to know a certain something, but they will find out. Now, I know that we would all love to shelter our kids. Wouldn't that be amazing? No, not really. That would not be good for them physically or mentally when they get older and go off on their own. But speaking of shelter, I remember when I was growing up, we would have drills of a bomb attack, of the bomb attack, and we'd go into the dark hall. They'd turn the lights off, and everyone crouched in the dark, and you'd be all, all rolled up in a ball, and the teachers would be walking back and forth because you'd always peek to see what were the teachers doing. But anyway, just to make sure we were all doing it. And now kids are having to have these drills of hiding under their desk, locking the doors because there could be an active shooter in the school. Heck yeah, I worry for our kids now. Talk to your kids and don't hide from listening to their fears. Don't don't blow it off. Please don't brush them off when they say it will never. When sorry, let me backtrack. Please don't you brush them off when they come to talk to you about their fears, and then you say, "Oh, it'll never happen," because unfortunately it can happen, and we saw that this past year. So, do you recall the kid that everyone was scared of because he was mean or she was mean? The bully. We all knew there was one somewhere in our school. Um, so, well, now our kids don't have to worry about someone waiting for them in an alley or a dark alley. First of all, they shouldn't be out at night when it's dark, but anyway, or in an alley or waiting at the corner. All they have to do is pick up their smartphone, and in the privacy of their own home, they can now be bullied and see made up stories about them or he said, she said situations. Come on, folks. We give them the phone, and as much as our kids say they hate you and you know they don't, what they hate more is not being part of something. That's why they need their social media lifeline. How many of us have spent time with your kids just doing something, just one on one, or watching a movie, baking cookies? When's the last time you baked cookies with your kids? No, your kids may say, I'm too old to do that now, Mom. Well, you know what? Spend 20 minutes with me. That's it. Something personal with your child. How many of us have taken that time? We have to take this time. And don't say you don't have time. We all have time. We all have time for our kids, or we need to make it if we don't. Let's take care of them just as we were taking care of them when they were first born. We took care of them, and then all of a sudden, we stopped. Not that we stopped caring, but we stopped spending that time with them when they were no longer helpless babies or toddlers. That's when they needed us to survive. And believe it or not, they need us even more now that they're not even babies. They need us mentally and physically. Psychologically, they are faced with making decisions and not just what to wear or making sure their homework's done. But tweens and teens have become young adults, or at least they think they are. And the whole world is on their shoulders. Now, this isn't all people, this is not all teens, but you know who I'm talking about. If you're listening to this and think, oh, yeah, that's my kid, that's who I'm talking about. And it's nothing, you're not doing anything wrong as a parent. They've just gotten sucked into this new world of the smartphones and social media. So back to where I was, they think that they're really grown up, and now they have all this stuff and this power just by having a cell phone. Some parents may say, but I give them everything they want. Did you hear what I just said? I give them everything they want. What happened to kids earning things? Do do kids still do that? Let's rethink and give them the attention of just listening to them. Again, the pandemic arrived and ta-da, now kids are from being able to socialize in person every day and daily, a daily routine, excuse me, in school. They were stuck at home with the entire family, losing all other human contact with friends and teachers and extra activities outside of school. I mean, not that they don't love the family, because they do. Sometimes they may not seem like they do, but they do. But now they've lost all that. And now the parents have two jobs, being a parent and a teacher. I heard some parents just threw the towel in at the homeschooling stuff and said, I can't teach my kids. And unfortunately for that, the child went back to school lost in what they weren't able to learn. Now, again, this wasn't in all families. But then there was the other side. The bad side that was there are so many children, especially here in Texas, that depend on their daily meals from the school, free breakfast and free lunch. Now, I'm sure there were many that just didn't eat because there was no free lunch. It wasn't available. Schools closed down. Everything was closed down. Now, most teens would never even let their friends know that they hadn't eaten because the food wasn't available, because that's embarrassing for them. They were satisfied with just having their social media. Crazy, right? I remember how important it was to have friends in high school. So I get it to a certain degree. I had one friend once tell me that her son was just mean. I don't know what happened. It was like overnight. He turned into a totally different person. She said he would come home from school or even after his outside activities of school and go straight to his room with his cell phone. And they would argue, and he every night the parents would take the phone. At 9 o'clock, he knew that the phone would no longer be his. Now, this happens with the girls too. There's probably worse with girls. I don't know. Us girls like talking so much, but at least I do. Anyway, so the parents stuck to their guns, and guess what? 2 years later, their son has survived and now knows at 9 o'clock the phone is the parents until morning. So, so that's really a good thing. I mean, they did stick to it. And I know a lot of kids will get mad. I can't believe you took my phone, blah, 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 blah. But kids need sleep. They're probably going to be mad at you, but guess what? They'll be fine in the morning because they get their phone back. So, how do we feel about looking I'm changing the subject. How do you feel about looking at a teen's phone to see what is going on? You know, maybe that's their personal private thing. But wait, your teen is smart enough to delete all text. Remember journals and diaries? Write anything we wanted about who and what, and that was private. Well, would you have looked in there? No. But is it the same as a smartphone? No. There are literally predators out there just waiting for one boy or girl to get on TikTok, Snapchat, or Instagram or whatever. And yes, remember where I have said we cared for them as babies? Now they want that feeling. Teens want that feeling of someone, hopefully someone their age, from their neighborhood, school, to care for them. It's that hormonal thing. You remember that. So they will search for that longing to be loved, usually by someone of the same sex, opposite sex. I don't know. Anyone. Oh no, my teen won't do that. Oh no, they don't do that kind of stuff. Really? Not again. All teens are like that. But let's think back at what we were doing and thinking at their age. Think. When I think back, it's like, whoa. So now, most of you will know what I'm talking about. You know those feelings they're having. Did you know that there are secret apps out there? There's one called Hide It Pro, and it's a free app to hide private pictures, notes, videos, and more. So the kids can have this app, and you won't even know what it is. You don't know what kind of photos are on there. There's one that looks like a calculator, but it's not. I know you love your kids and you want to trust them, and you know that you love your kids, and I know you love your kids. So, guess what? You need to be nosy. You do need to be nosy and see what's going on. And hopefully, you'll find nothing because they are under your roof, and more than likely, you are paying for their phone. Don't make a big deal about it. Just do it, and they will have to ask you, hey, did you delete an app? And you can say yes or no. Or more than likely, they won't ask, and they may download it again and again. And you tell them you will pick the apps they are allowed to have. We literally have to protect our kids from the time you hand them that smartphone to say, oh, it's only for them to call me when they get home from school. You know, it's not. It may be at first, especially they're in elementary school and have to walk home alone. So we just need to know what's on those phones. Kids are smart. I mean, these smartphones are smart and they make our kids smart. So back to teens and their depression, and kids are really suffering from depression now. If you get on Google and look it up, it's like a really sad to see what the percentages are. I didn't write any down. I didn't do that for you, so you may have to do your own research. Teens are depressed and sad because many feel they're missing out on so much in this big world. They feel like, oh, I'm missing out on so much. I can't do this or I can't do that. But we all know we have to make boundaries. We have to have boundaries for our kids. If they only knew that someday they're going to wish they could get a redo of being a teen, and they're not going to be able to get a redo. Don't be afraid to ask your teen if anything's all wrong or is everything okay. Signs of depressions are sadness and frustration, annoyance over small things, self esteem, conflict with family and friends, loss of appetite. If you see any of these signs, ask for help from your doctor or school counselor, and they should help direct you towards someone to help you with your child. I know they're teens and I keep calling them child, but they are. They will always be your babies. They will always be your child that you will love and want to care for because you had them. They're yours. I feel like we need to be on top of the technology on all areas of the use of it. The rate of the depression is on the rise, and the sad thing is we actually can do something, but we have to be aware and we cannot be scared that you are going to upset your kids. You can't be scared you're going to upset them. They may get upset for a little bit, but in the long run, it's going to be great for you and them and as a family. You may have to use some techniques your parents use when raising a fine human being as yourself. Now, if you had awful parents, scratch that and do what you wish your parents would have done. Tweak parenting. We can make things better for our kids and for ourselves. Parenting is hard, and I've told friends and family, if you think that those sleepless nights are hard when they're first born, just wait until they get older. Now, I don't say that to be mean. I say it so they can expect the unexpected. Because now, with all we have in the power of our tips of our fingers, the smartphones, we have them in our pockets, in our purse. How many pictures have you seen on Facebook? And it's a group picture, and how many people are always holding a cell phone? I think that's funny because you don't need to have it with you to stand around with your friends, but yet we do. I love my phone and I do love social media. And sometimes, again, I have to monitor myself and not sure what or how I would have been able to contain myself had we had it in the 70s. It's a good thing we didn't. We were all about love, peace, and rock and roll. Those were good times. And for all of you listening, thank you. And know that these are just my opinions and things that I have been told by parents of teens. I'm not a doctor or a therapist. I am a mom and Alita, aka grandmother. Thank you again for listening and go find your blessings and love your teens. It's just very important. We had the best talks in our van because we had a Sienna, Toyota Sienna. Loved that van. It was the best. We had great trips in that car. We had great talks in that car, our van. Anyway, so try to put those phones down. And if they whine about it, you know what? Tell them, look, put it down now or you don't get it when you get home. Oh, I don't want to hurt my kids' feelings. But they'll be fine. Trust me. You're paying for, they've got a roof over their head and food on the table. And you're doing their laundry probably. But take advantage of that time because that is the best time, especially after school. It's fresh on their mind. It's they can tell you what happened, hey, how's English going? How is this going? Hey, how's your friend Joe Blow? How is, find out information from your kids that so that you will have something in common next time you are with them. Become their parent slash car friend where you can talk. That's the best time, like I said. And I mean, remember, when kids start going through puberty, it's tough. Things are changing, their bodies, their friends. They lose friends that they thought were best friends forever, and their friends start doing something different or hopefully not do anything bad, but they go a different route. So anyway, just remember these are important times. So teach your kids some basics. Cleaning the room. Oh my gosh. I don't clean my kids' room because they don't do a good job of it. Okay. What's with cleaning a room? Pick up your clothes. I've never been a person to have clothes on the floor. I don't know why everyone should have a hamper or at least a laundry basket, something. You don't want to wear it? Stick it in there and wash it the next load. There's no reason to have laundry or wet towels on the floor. Pick them up. It'll take seconds, not even a minute. It takes less seconds. And they can keep their rooms clean. Okay, I make my bed up daily. My kids had to make their beds up daily. I don't know if they still make their beds up. That's their business because they both have homes now. Um, but those are things that simple things that I was raised to do, and they can do too. And again, this is going to follow them when they do leave for college or the military or tech school, whatever. Kids need to know basics. Survival. That's what they are. They're survival skills. And cooking, eating right, making your bed. That's mine. That's not a survival skill, but I like to throw that in. Putting gas in the car, being responsible. That's what we need to do, or we could do. I'm not telling you how to raise your child. These are things I think that are important for a child's future. Because you're going to send them off to college or wherever. Don't let them be the kid who doesn't know what the heck they're doing and call home or get on the internet just to figure out how much detergent to put in the laundry. So anyway, these are things that I really feel we need to do with our kids. And most importantly, you need to have God in your life. Before cleaning and responsibility, always have God in their life. Let them know they're not alone and they can pray. If they can't talk to you, let them know that they can pray. It will get them through things and it will help you. But be patient with them because growing up is hard if you remember. And I really believe it's even harder for our kids now. So these are my little, I guess, tips about what we need to do to help our kids grow because it's just important. They will appreciate it so much when they are gone. They will know how to do their laundry. They will know how to make spaghetti. They'll know how to throw something in the crock pot. They'll know how to clean their toilet. I know that's disgusting, but you can squirt stuff in there or get the cleaners that go in the tank or whatever. Teach them how to put gas in a car. Teach them responsibilities because you are not going to be around forever. Heck, you never know. You and your husband may wind up moving to Costa Rica or something. So then you're really never going to see them. Anyway, so these are my little helpful tips on how to help your kids learn some life skills, learn to be responsible. Again, we don't get to spend that much time with our kids. They grow so fast, and then you miss them. I miss my kids. I love having my kids around. Thank God they like us because they do come around and visit. So this is Henry. Count your blessings. You know it's your family. And until next time, I hope you teach them